Hiya! I'm back after what feels like a really long break. I think I've stopped posting sort of mid-November or beginning of November, sort of that time. I've got a couple unboxings for you. Yay, finally! I haven't been doing a lot of shopping for art supplies because I'm going to Japan in January. So I guess we'll open this one. I tend to order these boxes towards the end of the year and give them to myself for Christmas. So this is a Scrawlr Box. So yeah, let's get to it. Do you know what? For a while I really wanted to try out my washi haul from Thought. When I was at Thought, I shopped for comics, stickers and washi tape, and I made a couple swaps with a few different artists. I think it's a really nice way of, you know, sharing art with other artists. What should we do first? I think let's do the box first, because that will be the highlight of the video. It's a box from May, I assume 2023, I mean. And shall open it now. I really like these boxes. They're a nice way to try out new supplies, but oftentimes they're things that I've already got, or they're very similar to the things I already have. This one was very interesting, and I really wanted to give that a go. I think the challenge in it will be quite fun. Maybe I should open it first, because that just is a spoiler. So we have a sticker. There's always a sticker that's themed after the artwork, or the artist and the artwork of that box. And this one's Kaleidoscope. So we have a Faber-Castell 2B pencil. It's the 9000 model type. I have a few Faber-Castell pencils and they're really, really nice. I generally buy something that's like at least 6B. So this is a nice one to have. I'm sure it will be useful. I recognize the Copic. Really nice multi-liner, fine liner kind of thing with waterproof and pigment ink. As long as it's waterproof and pigment ink, you'll be okay to use it with alcohol markers or any other markers, generally. Even watercolor. Just make sure that once you've drawn with this pen, you give it a bit of time for it to dry. Once it's like fully dry, it's perfectly fine to draw on top. And this one's 1.0, so that's the size of the nib. We'll be testing it out in a second. There's always like a random sweet. So this one comes with Ecoline markers, and I have their brush tips, and I was really curious because I've never seen these before. I'm not a massive fan of their ink, like especially in my regular sketchbooks, they're just not my thing. So I'll be interested to see how they compare, if they're the same kind of ink or not. And these are Duotip, which I think means they are double-sided. So it's CMYK. So it's cyan, so blue, cyan. CM magenta, or like a pink one. Y for yellow and K for black. I'm not sure why K is black, but I guess it ends with K. So that's where the CMYK comes from. It's also how most like inkjet printers work. They have 3 inks in them, or 4 inks rather, with the black. And that's how they print. They mix the colors to make new colors, basically, if that makes sense. And so that's the contents of the box. There's also a zine, a print. There's always a print. So the featured artist is Francesca Franceschi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this name right. So I'm a visual artist and designer born in Rome in 1974. And she lived in Amsterdam and designs pattern design, illustration, fashion and printing. And there's always some kind of media to draw on. So this one's mixed media. It's usually 10 sheets or maybe 5 sheets as well sometimes. So it's a quite, because I was like, oh, this won't be really good, but this is, when I saw that it's 250 GSM, I thought, oh, okay, that makes sense. That is a much better paper for drawing on with marker pens. I'm glad it was discounted because the glue damaged the paper a bit, but that's not going to be a massive issue. It's really nice stock. It's a bit textured. I don't know if it comes through on the video. It's nicely hammered, so that would be interesting. Scrawlr Box, if you're watching this video, I'll be happy to review more of your boxes, but I can't afford buying them all the time, and I can't just keep buying them. But if you would like me to review any of your boxes, I'm open for collaborations. But this is a box I bought myself, so it's not sponsored, it's just me buying something out of curiosity. We've already gone through all of this. And here's a bit more about the artist and, you know, the exercises. But I can't wait to swatch these pens out and see how they blend or go on top of each other. That would be really fun. They're water soluble, that's interesting. I wonder if they're alcohol. They are alcohol based. There's some color theory. Should be interesting. You can create a bunch of different colors from the main set of colors by mixing them together. Here's a gallery from the previous month. Some more. It's quite cool. Not sure why Yayoi Kusama is included here, but it's a really amazing artist, and I'm thinking of visiting her. I think there's a museum dedicated to her, or maybe it's her own museum in Tokyo when I go there next month. If you haven't heard of this artist, check her out. It's really, really inspiring and really interesting, with art installations all around the world. I've seen one in Tate Modern in London, really fun. I wonder if, I guess we can use my art creation sketchbook. I was just experimenting in it. It's not the best for ink, so the paper bleeds a bit when you use ink on it, but otherwise it's quite nice and quite good. So I'm going to try out the washi tape. I'll just use this page because it's a bit of a wasted page anyways. So this is washi tape by Fiona Stabler, and she's a YouTuber and an artist creating really interesting artwork. I think it's digital and traditional, I believe. And I bought her zine maybe a couple years ago and really enjoyed it. It was like a travel zine, and recently met her at Thought Bubble and spoke about Japan because I really liked her vlog, and I bought her Japan sketchbook zine, which is really cool. I'm going to show you. So this is the travel sketchbook. I just marked a page that I wanted to come back to. But yeah, check out her art. It's really, really lovely. I won't show you too much because you can always get the zine. And I have a very similar, but by Savannah Storm. I exchanged some washi tape and stickers with both of these lovely artists, and they were sharing a table at Thought Bubble. Okay. So I always love swapping at events like that because it just makes, I don't know, it makes me happy and it's more exciting than just shopping. If you've been to Japan and have any recommendations at all for what to do or where to go in Tokyo in January, we're only going for like 6 full days plus the travel time, so don't have much time, like extreme amounts of time. But I think if you have anything interesting or especially good to do in January, late January, so it's like the last week of January, please pop it in the comments because I will really appreciate any tips. And so this one's a mushroom and bugs And I really love, it's usually when you have a mushroom washi or sticker, you don't see the bags, and these are like, I think it's a really cool idea. So these two are from Fiona Stabler. And I also spoke to Yukfan team. Yukfan or Yukfan? Not sure. Yukfun? Yukfan? Not sure. I love their art, and their course on Domestika about how to screen print really helped me get started with my own screen printing, and now I'm making tote bags and like t-shirts, and maybe one day I'll make prints, but I'm not as much into prints as I am on printing onto fabric. They have a very distinct style. I love how simple but yet really cool and recognizable these characters are, and they're very nice in person as well. Really enjoyed talking to them. It's like multiple stickers in a single washi tape. Maybe I should try something like this, because I also have this one by Emily Pete illustration, and it's really cool. It also has like different images, so maybe I can do my own style, like one in my own style. I think that would be really fun. So there you go, that's my washi tape haul. I was waiting to open them for quite a while now, so I'm glad I'm finally recording this video. And I feel like I've rambled on for 20 minutes now. So let's get to drawing. So I put down that I'm using fine liner first as a test. The pencil doesn't really need much to swatch. I really like it though. And I like that it came really nicely sharpened. Ready to use. Okay, let's try the colors. I'm going to do it in the same order as they do it. Not a fan of smell of alcohol markers. But I have used Copics a lot when I was starting out to draw. And I still have loads of Copics that I probably should be using because they're quite expensive. And maybe they will stop being useful after a while. Not sure. The paper peels a bit, especially when you layer the colors. Or maybe I'm just pressing too hard. Okay, maybe I'm just pressing too hard. So that's a good sign, maybe. Or maybe not a bad sign. Okay, let's try the magenta. This is a lot less bright than it is on the in the booklet. That's a surprise. This one peels a lot more when I layer it. And yellow. Yellow might be a bit hard to see on the video. Oops, wrong tip. It's not at all vibrant. Like in the booklet, this yellow looks much more visible. I feel like this was a different paper. That's what my gut tells me. It looks very different. It looks almost digital. But yeah, this yellow is very light compared to what it looks like. Maybe if you layer them, maybe they look a bit more strong then. But that's why we're swatching, so we can learn more about these colors. I'll also add maybe the pens need to dry a bit more for it, but I think the ink spreads the tiniest amount onto the pen, but it could be because the pen's ink needs to dry more. I think this is dry now though. So let's try the pen on top. I think this is sort of okay. It does smudge a tiny bit. I'll give it a bit more time and let's do a different exercise. Okay, blending. I'm not a massive blending fan, as in I'm not very good at it, I guess. They say to lay down the lightest color first and then gently work in the darker colors. Use the lighter pen to sweep from light to dark to gradually blend it out. I'm not sure, this is peeling paper way too much. Like it literally stays on the pen. I can sort of see why this was discounted. But let's not call it yet, because it might surprise us still. Let's see. It says to go from lighter to darker, like this, in a gentle sweeping motion. This is just not doing it for me. I must be doing something wrong. Why are they peeling? It's ridiculous. I'm just trying to clean the nib because it's now red, but that's, if you blend, that will just happen, so it's not a massive problem. I have no idea how they achieved this, because I just can't. I give up. Okay, another exercise that they suggested. Well, it doesn't actually talk about it, but I can work out what they've done. It's quite obvious. Okay, let's go over it with which one's dark. I hate this pink. And then I can go diagonally. Oh, this is not going on with the pink. I've got to say, I do like this effect. It's quite fun. And I like the green that the blue and yellow give. So I'm going to try that. I don't know if this is a good idea to go light to dark. The lighter color on dark. So let's try it here. Maybe I will blend it. Here goes. Obviously this is from someone who doesn't ever blend, so I might be doing something wrong here. It just irks me a bit, I have to say. I'm doing something wrong, look. It's said to go this way, like sweeping motion from light to dark. And I'm very gentle, but I am picking up the paper. I don't think this paper is the right kind. Also, this yellow has a lot of juice and it kind of made this weird... I guess we can cover that up in a minute. Like fix it a bit. Maybe? Who knows? Something like this. Would you say it's close enough? Kind of like this neon green though, that comes out. To get my Bristol paper, and it's quite thin, so it might bleed. Bleed means that the ink will go through to the other side and maybe potentially make a mess. But I can't. This paper is good maybe for something else. It's meant to be for mixed media, but I can't leave. Like, I guess I can just do this afterwards. But I don't know, there's something about it that I don't like. Okay, I reckon it might bleed because it's much thinner. Let's try it. Definitely not the straightest lines I've ever drawn. But so far the experience is much nicer. It's much smoother. This is much more fun, much more enjoyable to do. What else can we do? There's not that much. So I want to know how this was made. But it doesn't mention how at all. I guess it was. It doesn't look like it was drawn. It looks like it was some kind of stamp. I guess we won't be learning it today. So let's try and create a purple by mixing the blue. They recommend waiting between layers, so maybe I'll keep going. Have you ever had this problem with like hard tip pens? I'll be interested to hear what I'm doing wrong. Tell me in the comments. Help. Send help. Because I don't know. Ooh, I have an idea. We have to compare Copics. Mainly because I'm curious about how they fare on this paper. So that will be the last test we do. Maybe now, because this needs to dry anyway. I'm really interested to see. I don't know if I'm supposed to use this side of paper, so I won't for now. Let's see. I don't have yellow, but I have a blue, pink, and orange, I guess? Close enough? Not exactly, but close enough. Some of the Copics are sort of pastel, and other Copics are a bit more saturated. The tip is quite hard, and I can see it's kind of a little bit on the dry side now. Yeah, like I said, I haven't used these for quite a while, and I tend to not use this side. I tend to use this, and this is like a... It says it's super brush. So this is a hard tip on this marker pen. It doesn't bend at all. It's quite hard. But this one is like a fake brush, so it's... I call it a felt brush sort of feeling, because it's flexible. So that's the difference between them and their size, I guess. I don't know about the amount of ink, because it might be misleading, so I can't judge that. Other than use them for a bit and see how long they last. Copics are quite on the pricey side, but I used to buy them like sort of, I would pop into my local art supply shop and buy one or two like every time I went there. This one's red and violet, 06. So you see, the Copics bleed, so that's one way they differ. This one, absolutely no bleed through, and this is just one layer of Copics. And they kind of soak into the paper in a much worse way. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a bit of feathering around like the edges of the, especially these pink ones. And this is blue 05, B05. And they are made in Japan. And this one is made in Germany. That's interesting. Didn't realize they were made in Germany. So it said, lay the light color first. And the faster you work, the the easier it is to blend. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips about blending. If you see something I'm doing very blatantly and badly, as in blatantly wrong, do let me know. I would say this doesn't blend at all. I don't see this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but this is not working for me. I don't know. This is wrong. Let's ignore that. Let's do this test. That's nice. Well, kind of. That's why I don't use them more often. But I really need to, because I don't want them to dry out and then be useless. So maybe I need to find a good sketchbook for Copics. Still doesn't peel any paper. Like, you could see how much it peeled on this. With these markers peeled this paper, especially the red one. This one, zero peeling. You could say it's appealing. You can count on a bad joke on this channel from time to time. Let me know which one you prefer. Ecoline or Copics. They're very different in a way, so they're a bit harder to hard to compare because they're like slightly different. I guess you could use them for slightly different purposes. I don't know which ones I prefer. They're very different. Again, like I said. Let's try this now. So let's mix blue and pink. Interesting. Nope. I think that's it. I'm done with it. Why? I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but it's a really unsatisfying thing to happen. I'm going to do something very similar here. Just a really quick one. And I won't wait for it to fully dry. So that we don't waste too much time. Probably should repeat what I did here when I layered the same color over and over. They are very different in that, you know, these bleed, these don't bleed, so there are advantages to each type of pen. You know I'm back when a video gets super long. Yeah, they definitely don't mix as nicely as these. Can you go light on dark? Yes, you can. That's cool. And so I wanted to see what happens when you layer all three colors on top of each other, and kind of becomes this greenish, bluish, greenish color comparison. I'm really uninspired by this. I could maybe use them separately, but not layered. Not my thing. And look, I layered a lot. I even went light on dark. And this orange didn't pick up any of the blue. Nothing. Don't know how, because usually that happens with any kind of pen. But it's not happening on these. Let's try yellow on blue. It just became mad. They do say not to wait. They do say to wait between layers, and I didn't. But I wanted to do a comparison, like a fair comparison between the two. And obviously you want this video to end at some point. So there you are. Let me know your favorites. Have you ever tried these Ecolines? What did you think of them? I think it confirmed that as much as I love Royal Talent sketchbooks, maybe the pens aren't for me. I think that's it. I haven't really used this pencil, but I'll add it to my collection of pencils, and I might sketch with it a bit soon. So that'll be it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something useful. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. I always read all of them and try and respond to all of them. If I ever don't, then it means that maybe I haven't seen it for some reason. But I do love responding to comments and interacting with all of you. One thing I forgot to test is this liner test. Oh, I won't be able to test it properly because my pen is dirty. This pen is clean. I've already used that one. Yellow I think will show up quite well if it doesn't work. Well, it did melt the pen. The blue pen, the black pen. I mean, it completely dissolved it for some reason. It does say on it that it's Copic safe, so maybe I should try Copics. Obviously it's made by Copic, so that would make sense. But again, this fine liner maybe isn't the best. It's definitely not perfect, the fine liner. From my experience, it's a bit hit and miss sometimes with fine liners. I honestly expected it to not melt, like dissolve and smudge. But it seems like it did, so that's interesting to know. But you can always add your line work, like you can sketch it with a pencil and then add it on top of the pens, and there's no problem with that at all. So that's one way you can use it. Okay, I think that's it. Let me know your favorites, which of the two types of pens you prefer, like the look of, or maybe you've tried them all and can tell me. I think we'll end it there. You can find me on all the usual places. I'm on Instagram and that kind of thing, and you can shop with me on Etsy. I always leave my links down below. Have a lovely day artsing, and until next time, bye! Just a really quick disclaimer. I tried this in my Midori sketchbook, and it's much nicer to use all of the colors, including the red, the magenta rather. This feels a lot nicer on this paper. Layer this red color as much as I want. Obviously it will start peeling a little bit, but when you overdo it, but it's pretty nice. It also doesn't bleed. This paper is really, really nice. So I guess it all depends on the paper. I quite like this the thin nib. I might use it just for doodling like this. But yeah, I just wanted to add that because it's not really that bad. It's just the papers do not suit. The papers they provided did not suit this type of pen. But it's really lovely on this Midori paper. So yeah, maybe I will like them in the end. Have a lovely day artsing, and until next time, bye!